Lisa studied the patterns. It's chaos, but there is a hidden order. We need to predict the platform's movement, not just react to it. This is a test of anticipation. Kyle raised an eyebrow. Humans anticipate. That's kind of our thing. Let's move. Luke led the team, watching the platforms carefully. Step by step, they moved, matching the timing, adjusting to the changes, and anticipating the next shifts. Slowly, they crossed the floating platforms, each step requiring concentration and coordination. Anna felt her heart racing. This is incredible! It's like the canyon itself is alive, testing us, learning from us. Luke nodded.
Exactly. And humans adapt.
That's why we're feared. We learn, we change, we survive. As they reached the end of the platform section, the canyon opened into a large chamber. The walls were covered in symbols glowing softly, and the floor was a smooth, reflective surface. In the center floated a holographic map of the galaxy, with points of light marking various planets. Lisa stepped forward, awe in her voice. This is incredible. They've mapped the galaxy, and they're showing it to us. A voice echoed through the chamber. Humans, you have passed the trials of observation, timing, and anticipation. Few species could complete these tasks without error. You are remarkable. The humans looked up to see figures similar to the ones they had met before. Taller, elegant. With glowing eyes, they watched the humans closely. Luke stepped forward. We did what we could with what we had. That's humans. We adapt, we solve problems, and we move forward. That's how we survive. The figure nodded slowly. Yes, that is why humans are unpredictable. Other species follow patterns. Humans create new patterns in the moment. This makes you dangerous to underestimate.
Anna whispered to Luke. They're acknowledging our adaptability.
That's unusual. Most species don't admit that. Luke smiled faintly. Humans are different. That's why we survive. That's why no one wants to fight us. We think in ways others cannot predict.
Kyle grinned. Sounds like they're scared of us without even saying it. Lisa adjusted her glasses.
Or maybe they respect us. Either way, humans are proving their worth.
And that's exactly what they're here to see. The figure spoke again, their voices echoing in the chamber. Ahead lies a greater challenge. It will test your intelligence, creativity, and courage. Many species fail. Humans, you may succeed, but success will not come easily. Then we continue, step by step. Think, adapt, and stay together. That's the way humans win. The chamber floor shifted, revealing a staircase descending into darkness. The hum grew louder, vibrating through the humans' bones. They could feel the intelligence of the planet, watching, testing, waiting.
Anna took a deep breath.
This is it! The real challenge begins here. Luke placed a hand on her shoulder. Stay calm, observe, adapt! That's what humans do best! We face the impossible and find a way. Lisa and Kyle nodded, ready for whatever lay ahead. The staircase wound down into a vast underground network filled with strange machines, energy barriers, and shifting walls. The atmosphere was tense, almost electric. As they moved deeper, they encountered puzzles that required not just observation but creativity. Energy fields had to be rerouted using mirrors and prisms. Platforms had to be moved into position using weight and timing. Each solution was more complex than the last, but the humans adapted, often finding solutions the designers may not have expected. Luke noticed something remarkable. The planets seemed to respond to their thought processes. When they approached a challenge, the obstacles would shift slightly, as if anticipating mistakes and adjusting. Anna whispered. It's like it's learning from us. Every move we make, it adapts. Luke smiled. Exactly, and that's why humans are unique. Other species might fail because they stick to rules.
Humans bend rules, adapt, and survive. Hours passed.
The team worked tirelessly, solving puzzle after puzzle, each one designed to test a different skill. Observation, coordination, creativity, courage, patience, all were tested, and humans excelled at each one. Finally, they reached a chamber at the very heart of the underground network. A single figure waited, taller and more radiant than the others. Its eyes glowed with deep intelligence. You have passed the trials of observation, timing, creativity, and courage, the figure said. Few species could complete these tests. Humans, you are exceptional. That is why the galaxy fears you. Not because of strength, not because of numbers, but because your species adapts, innovates, and overcomes in ways no other species can predict.
Luke nodded. We do what we must to survive.
That's what humans are. That's why we keep moving forward. The figure studied them closely. Yes, that is why no intelligent species seeks to challenge humans. To underestimate you is to invite disaster. You are unpredictable, adaptive, and clever. That is why humans endure, succeed, and inspire both awe and fear across the galaxy. Anna felt a chill. They're saying, we're feared. Just for being humans? Exactly. Not because we are the strongest, but because we think differently. That's our advantage. That's why humans survive where others fail, Kyle chuckled. So, basically, we're the ultimate wild card in the galaxy. Nice! Lisa adjusted her glasses. It's true. Humans are exceptional, and other species know it, even if they don't say it out loud. That's why they avoid direct conflict with us. That's the reason humans are never challenged openly. The figure extended a hand in the chamber filled with a soft light. Go now. Return to your ship. Your species has proven itself, but remember, the galaxy watches. Humans are unpredictable. That is your greatest strength. Luke looked at his team. We move forward, step by step, always forward. Humans survive because we adapt, and we never stop. The team made their way back to the surface, exhausted but exhilarated. They had faced the tests of the planet, solved its puzzles, and survived its challenges. More importantly, they had proven the thing that set humans apart from every other species in the galaxy. Anna looked at the glowing horizon. We did it! We really did it! Luke nodded. Yes. And now the rest of the galaxy knows why humans are not to be underestimated. Kyle grinned. Unpredictable, adaptable, unstoppable. I like it. Lisa smiled. And this is only the beginning. The more the galaxy sees humans, the more it will understand why no species ever dares to confront us directly. Luke stood tall, looking at his team. Then we continue. Step by step. Think, adapt, survive. That is what humans do best. The hum of the planet faded behind them as they boarded the Odyssey, leaving the canyon and its trials behind. But the lessons remained.
Humans were different. Humans were clever.
Humans were unstoppable, and the galaxy would never forget it. The Odyssey lifted off from the alien planet smoothly, its engines glowing against the strange green sky. Captain Luke Hayes stood at the bridge, looking at the planet shrinking behind them. The team was quiet, each lost in thought. The trials they had faced were unlike anything humans had ever encountered. Every puzzle, every trap, every energy field had tested them, and they had succeeded. Not just survived, they had excelled. Anna Brooks leaned against the railing, still catching her breath. I can't believe it. The reason we never go up against humans. The stars stretched endlessly across the black sky, small points of light shining like distant fires. Captain Luke Hayes stood on the bridge of the starship Odyssey, watching the endless void outside. He was a tall man with short brown hair and steady green eyes, and he had spent most of his life in space. Yet even he felt a small shiver of excitement as they approached the edge of the outer rim. This was a part of space few humans had explored, and even fewer had returned to speak about it. "Captain," said Lieutenant Anna Brooks, her voice calm but full of focus, "our scanners are picking up something unusual. It looks like a signal, but it's not human. It's strong, and it's repeating." Luke turned toward her, nodding. "Put it through to the main screen. Let's see what we're dealing with." The bridge lights dimmed and a soft hum filled the room as the ship's systems processed the alien signal. On the main screen, strange patterns of light appeared, moving in ways that did not follow any human code. It was beautiful, almost like a dance, but it was clearly a message. Lisa Carter, the ship's science officer, leaned forward, her glasses catching the glow of the screen. "I've never seen anything like this," she said quietly. "It doesn't match any known language or code. Whoever sent it is advanced." "Very advanced." Engineer Kyle Bennett scratched his head. "Advanced or just tricky. Could be a trap." He looked at Luke. "We should be careful, sir. Outer Rim isn't called that for nothing." "Things out here don't follow the rules." Luke nodded. "I know. But we didn't come all this way to turn back. Let's approach slowly, keep shields up, and stay alert." "We don't know who or what is sending this." As the Odyssey moved closer to the source, the stars seemed to stretch and bend. Space itself felt different. It was quiet, almost too quiet. "They couldn't risk underestimating us." Luke turned toward the team, voice calm but strong. "This is what humans do best. We survive impossible situations. We solve problems others can't. We turn disadvantages into opportunities. That's why intelligent species think twice before confronting us. That's the reason we never go up against humans." As they traveled back through space, the crew reflected on what they had learned. Every challenge had been difficult, but each one had shown them the unique qualities of humans: courage, curiosity, and adaptability. Anna spoke quietly, almost to herself. "It's strange to think we're feared, or at least respected, just for being who we are. Not for weapons, not for numbers, but for thinking and acting differently." Luke nodded. "That's the truth. Humans are dangerous in a way no one can predict. And that's our greatest strength," Lisa added. "Every species has limits, patterns they follow. Humans, we don't always follow patterns. We invent, we improvise, we overcome. That's why the galaxy keeps a cautious distance," Kyle chuckled. "So basically, we're the ultimate problem solvers. The species no one wants to gamble against."
Sounds about right. The Odyssey moved smoothly through the void.
Stars stretched around them like scattered diamonds, and the blackness of space seemed peaceful after the trials they had endured. But each member of the team felt the weight of what they had accomplished. They hadn't just survived, they had proven something fundamental about their species. Luke spoke, voice calm but filled with quiet pride. "Think about it. The aliens didn't challenge us to destroy us. They tested us to understand us. They were careful because they know humans are unpredictable. They know humans can turn the impossible into the possible, and they know that any direct confrontation could have consequences they can't control." Anna nodded slowly. "So the galaxy doesn't fight humans because it knows it can't predict the outcome. That's humbling in a way." Luke smiled faintly. "It is. And it's also a responsibility. We've been given a gift, our ability to think, adapt, and survive. The galaxy may fear it, but we must respect it ourselves. That's what makes humans human." Lisa looked out the window, thoughtful. "It's not just about survival, though. It's about ingenuity, creativity, and collaboration. We didn't succeed because we were reckless. We succeeded because we worked together, thought carefully, and adapted. That's something no other species has managed to do against these trials." Kyle leaned back in his chair, smiling.
So humans are smart, adaptable, unpredictable, and awesome.
That's us in a nutshell. Luke laughed softly.
Yes! But remember, our strength isn't just in solving puzzles. It's in how we face the unknown. Every species has its limits. Humans, we often exceed them. That's the reason the galaxy watches us from a distance, and why no one goes up against humans willingly. As they neared the edge of the outer rim, a message arrived from the alien planet. The screen flickered, showing the figures they had met before. Their expressions were calm, but there was a weight to their presence, a quiet acknowledgement of respect.
You have proven yourselves, one of the figures said. Humans, you are exceptional. Not because you are the strongest, but because you adapt. You innovate. You survive. You are unpredictable. That is why the galaxy keeps distance. That is why no species challenges you openly. That is your greatest strength. Luke nodded. Thank you. We understand. We didn't come here to show dominance. We came to explore, to learn, and to solve problems.
But we also understand what it means to be human, Anna whispered. They understand now. They know humans can think beyond rules, beyond patterns, beyond expectations. That's powerful, Lisa added, and dangerous from their perspective. Humans are dangerous because we are flexible. We solve problems no one else can.
That's why the galaxy respects us, Kyle smirked, and probably fears us a little. Can't blame them. I'd be cautious too if I had to face humans.
Luke looked at the crew, proud and steady.
Remember this moment.
Humans are exceptional, but not invincible. Our strength lies in our minds, our courage, and our ability to adapt.
We survive because we think differently. We succeed because we work together.
That's the reason the galaxy keeps its distance, and that's the reason humans are never openly challenged. The journey back to human space was quiet but full of reflection. Each member of the crew thought about what they had learned and what they had accomplished. They had faced tests no one else could have completed, solved puzzles that seemed impossible, and endured challenges that would have defeated any other species. Anna spoke finally, breaking the silence. So, the reason we never go up against humans, it's not just about physical strength or weapons. It's about everything we are. Our minds, our teamwork, our courage, our adaptability. That's what makes us untouchable in a sense. Luke smiled.
Exactly! That's the truth! Humans are not invincible, but we are unpredictable. We think in ways others cannot. And that makes us dangerous to underestimate. That is our gift, and that is our responsibility.
Lisa looked at the stars. Every species has limits.
Humans!
We improvise. We create.
We survive! And the galaxy knows it.
Kyle leaned back, relaxed now. So basically, humans are the wild card. The species no one bets against.
I like the sound of that, Luke chuckled softly.
Yes, the wild card. That's humans. And it's something we must always remember, whether in exploration, in conflict, or in everyday life. Our strength is our mind, our courage, and our ability to adapt. That is why humans endure, and why the galaxy respects and fears us at the same time. The Odyssey traveled smoothly through space, stars stretching infinitely around them. The humans felt a quiet pride, not arrogance, but understanding. They had faced the unknown, survived it, and learned from it. They had proven what humans were capable of when challenged beyond imagination. Luke stood at the bridge, looking ahead. We have learned much, and we have survived.
That is the way of humans. Step by step, challenge by challenge, we continue.
That is why we never go up against humans. Not because we are the strongest, but because we are clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. And that is our greatest strength. Anna, Lisa, and Kyle nodded, understanding fully now.
The galaxy might test humans, might challenge them, might fear them, but one truth was clear. No species could ever truly predict what humans would do next.
And that was the reason humans were never openly confronted, never underestimated, and never defeated. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, full of mysteries, challenges, and possibilities.
And the humans moved forward as they always did, thinking, adapting, and surviving. The crew worked steadily, scanning, analyzing, and preparing for whatever they might find. Anna Brooks moved along the console, checking sensors and relaying readings to the captain. She was young but capable, and Luke trusted her instincts. After a few hours, the source of the signal came into view. It was a planet larger than Earth with strange blue and green patterns across its surface. There were no cities, no obvious signs of life, yet the signal was coming from there.
It pulsed steadily, almost as if it were alive. Lisa Carter shook her head. It's not just a planet. It's some kind of structure, or maybe a network. The signal is coming from multiple points, like it's spreading across the entire surface. Whoever made this, they are not hiding. Luke frowned. Not hiding? Or testing us? Kyle Bennett leaned back, crossing his arms. Testing seems more likely. If they were friendly, they would have contacted us differently. This is deliberate.
The crew continued to monitor the signal, noting its strange patterns. Unlike any communication humans had encountered before, it seemed to anticipate their actions. When the Odyssey adjusted its course, the signal changed slightly, almost as if it were watching them. Hours passed. The crew ate quietly in the mess hall, each of them aware of the strange tension that had settled over the ship. Luke sat across from Anna, who stirred her drink slowly.
You think they can see us? She asked.
I don't know, Luke admitted.
But I know one thing. Whatever is sending this signal, it's smart. Smarter than anything we've met in the Outer Rim. We need to be ready for anything.
Lisa joined them, holding a tablet.
I've been analyzing the signal. There's a pattern, but it's not like a language we know.
It's almost mathematical, like a series of instructions or tests. It's almost like it's inviting us or challenging us. Kyle joined the group, leaning against the table. Challenging us is more likely. I've seen enough alien tech to know that the advanced ones don't just wave hello.
They test first. They want to know if we're worth noticing.
Luke looked at each of them, his eyes serious.
Then we'll be ready. We didn't come this far to be scared of a signal. We move forward, cautiously, but forward. Keep your eyes open and your minds sharp. This is what humans do best. We adapt. The next day, the Odyssey entered the planet's orbit.
The ship moved slowly, sensors scanning the surface. Strange energy readings pulsed in a pattern across the planet. The crew noticed that the energy shifted slightly whenever the Odyssey changed its position. It was as if the planet itself was alive, observing them.
Anna Brooks frowned at the readings. It's like the planet is learning our movements.
Every time we adjust course, the signal changes. It's tracking us.
Luke's jaw tightened.
Keep scanning. I want to know if it's dangerous or just smart. Suddenly, a small craft emerged from the planet's surface. It was sleek, metallic, and unlike anything the crew had seen. It hovered silently, observing the Odyssey.
Luke stood, gripping the railing.
Open a channel, he said.
The communication attempt returned nothing. The craft emitted no sound, no signal, nothing that the humans could understand.
Yet it moved in patterns that seemed almost intentional. It circled the Odyssey, then returned to the planet's surface.
Lisa Carter leaned over the console, studying the patterns.
They're not attacking. At least not yet. But they're watching.
And they're curious,
Kyle muttered. Curious can be worse than hostile. At least if they attack, you know how to fight back. Curiosity that's unpredictable. The days passed slowly.
The humans tried various forms of communication, lights, signals, even attempts to mimic the patterns, but the alien craft and the signals remained a mystery. yet nothing hostile happened.
No attack, no warning, just observation.
One evening, Luke walked alone on the observation deck looking at the planet. Its surface shimmered in the reflected light of distant stars. He thought about what Lisa had said, that the signal was a kind of challenge. He wondered if the aliens understood humans at all.
Could they know how far humans could push, how quickly they could learn and adapt?
Anna joined him quietly.
You're thinking too much, Captain, she said softly, though her voice carried concern. I'm thinking, he replied. We've seen clever species before, Anna. But this is different. There's something about humans that makes others nervous, even intelligent species.
Maybe that's why they are holding back. Maybe they know they can't predict us. Anna shivered slightly, looking back at the planet.
I hope you're right.
Luke smiled faintly.
I think we'll find out soon enough. Humans always find a way.
The next day, a new signal arrived. It was stronger, more complex, and far more intricate than anything before. Lisa Carter analyzed it quickly.
It's a map, she said, excitement in her voice.
Some kind of map to a point on the planet. And
there are instructions, but they're not complete. It's like a test. See if we can figure out the rest ourselves. Kyle raised an eyebrow. A puzzle from aliens?
We should have been warned about this in basic space protocol.
Luke's eyes gleamed with interest. Or maybe this is exactly what they wanted. A test of our problem solving. They want to see if humans can handle it without instructions. The crew prepared a landing craft. Luke, Anna, Lisa, and Kyle would go to the surface. The tension was high, but so was the sense of excitement.
Humans had always been explorers, and this was the greatest test of all. First contact with an intelligent alien species whose motives were unknown. The landing was smooth but tense.
As they stepped onto the planet, the air was breathable, though thin. The ground glimmered with strange minerals, and the sky had a faint green hue. Everything about the planet was unfamiliar, yet strangely calm. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through the ground. Luke looked around.
Stay alert! Remember, we don't know what's waiting for us. Observation or threat. We treat it the same until proven otherwise.
They followed the path indicated by the alien map. Strange symbols appeared on the ground, glowing softly as they approached. Lisa Carter knelt to study them.
These aren't just symbols, she whispered. They're instructions, but they're not complete. Whoever made this expects intelligence.
They want us to think. Kyle smirked.
That's humans, then. We think.
We adapt. That's what we do.
Maybe this is why they're watching so closely. They want to see if we can keep up.
Luke nodded, feeling a thrill he hadn't felt in years. Then let's show them.
Step by step. Humans don't follow instructions blindly.
We create solutions, and that's something no one can predict.
The hum grew louder as they reached the first glowing symbol. A faint light rose from the ground, forming a shape that resembled a gateway. It was beautiful, unlike anything they had seen.
Anna stepped forward. Captain! Captain!
It's almost alive, she said. Luke placed a hand on her shoulder. Maybe that's the point. It wants to see if humans can understand it.
Let's move forward carefully, step by step.
Always forward. And as they entered the gateway, the hum shifted, almost like a breath.
The planet seemed to acknowledge them. It was not hostile.
It was watching, waiting, testing.
And the humans had just begun. The light from the glowing gateway slowly faded behind them as Captain Luke Hayes, Lieutenant Anna Brooks, Dr. Lisa Carter, and Engineer Kyle Bennett stepped into a wide-open space. The air here was crisp, almost like Earth in early autumn, but the ground beneath their feet shimmered faintly, as if the minerals themselves were alive. The hum they had noticed before was louder now, vibrating in their chests and making every step feel heavier.
This place,
Anna said softly, looking around.
It's like nothing I've ever seen.
It's beautiful and a little scary. Luke nodded, keeping his eyes moving.
Stay focused.
Beautiful doesn't mean safe. We need to pay attention to everything. One wrong move and we might set off something we don't understand. Lisa crouched near a cluster of glowing stones. The symbols on the ground are continuing here. They form a pattern, like a path or a set of instructions. But the instructions are incomplete, as before. Whoever designed this wants us to think for ourselves. Kyle bent over, tapping a stone. Feels warm?
Almost like it's waiting for us to do something.
He smiled, though it didn't reach his eyes. Maybe that's the point. They want to see if humans can figure it out without getting hurt. Luke gestured forward. Then we move carefully, step by step. Watch the symbols and follow them as best we can. As they walked along the shimmering path, the hum grew louder. Suddenly, a series of shapes appeared in front of them. They hovered above the ground like floating platforms, glowing faintly blue. Each platform had symbols etched on it, more complex than anything they had seen before. Lisa studied them quickly. These platforms, they're part of the test.
I think we need to activate them in a certain order, but there's no clear pattern.
Whoever made this expects problem-solving and coordination. Kyle rubbed his chin. Okay. Step 1. We figure out the first platform. Step 2. We move forward. Step 3. Pray we don't trigger something deadly. Luke gave him a look. Focus, Kyle. We solve it as a team. Anna, you and I will examine the first platform. Lisa, stay near Kyle and watch for changes in the energy readings. Be ready to act fast if anything happens. Anna and Luke approached the first platform. As they stepped closer, it reacted to their presence. A faint light glowed along the edges and symbols shifted in a way that seemed almost intelligent. Look at this, Anna whispered. It's changing as we move, almost like it's testing our understanding of movement.
Luke nodded. Step slowly.
Observe. Humans adapt. That's what we're good at. They moved carefully, stepping in patterns suggested by the shifting symbols. Slowly the platform responded, glowing brighter and locking into a steady light. A soft click echoed as it solidified. Lisa and Kyle watched closely. It worked, Lisa said. They respond to intelligence, not strength. This is a test of brains, not brawn, Kyle nodded. Well, humans have plenty of brains. Let's hope the rest of this planet agrees with that idea. The next platform hovered a few meters away. It was larger, more complex, with multiple symbols that seemed to form a kind of puzzle. Luke studied it, watching the way the lights changed as they approached. Anna, this one's more complicated, he said. We need to communicate clearly. Think step by step. Watch the patterns.
Anna took a deep breath. Okay, I see a sequence forming.
If we follow the order of lights as they change, I think we can activate it without triggering anything dangerous. Good. Let's move. They carefully stepped from platform to platform, adjusting their positions as the symbols shifted. The air around them hummed louder with every correct step. When they completed the second platform, a ripple ran through the path, and new symbols appeared ahead. Lisa checked the energy readings. The frequency of the hum is changing. It's responding to our success. Whoever built this. They are impressed by problem solving. Kyle grinned. Wow, humans do problem solving better than anyone.
That's kind of our thing. The next platform was different.
It had no obvious symbols, only faint lines that seemed to pulse with energy. As Luke approached, he felt a slight vibration through his boots. Careful, he warned. This might be a trap, or it could be another test. Watch your step, Anna moved beside him. I think it's not about stepping the right way.
It's about timing. The lines pulse. We need to move with the rhythm.
Luke nodded. Then we do it slowly, together.
Listen to the rhythm. They began moving in sync with the pulsing lines. Step by step, they adjusted their movements to match the rhythm. When they succeeded, the platform glowed brightly and a soft tone echoed in the air. Lisa smiled.
They're teaching patience, coordination, and observation. That's very human. We excel at adapting to patterns.
Kyle chuckled.
Yeah. Not just following instructions.
Making the rules as we go. That's humans for you.
The path led them to a large clearing. In the center floated a sphere of light, pulsating with energy. As they approached, the sphere split into multiple smaller spheres, orbiting each other like planets around a sun. Luke stopped.
This one feels different.
It's like the final test of this area. Observe carefully before we touch anything.
Anna studied the spheres. They respond to thought patterns. I think we need to predict their movement and align with them.
It's like a mental puzzle translated into energy.
Lisa's eyes widened.
If we can solve this, it proves more than intelligence. It proves coordination, anticipation, and teamwork.
Whoever made this, they are testing everything humans are good at. Kyle raised an eyebrow.
So we just sync our brains with floating lights and hope it goes well? Luke gave him a firm look.
Exactly. And that's why humans are the best at it. We think, we adapt, we solve the impossible. They spread out, observing the spheres carefully. Slowly, they began moving in rhythm with them, matching their orbits and anticipating their changes. At first, it felt impossible. The spheres spun faster than their eyes could follow.
But Luke noticed a pattern. Each sphere followed a cycle, repeating subtle movements that could be learned. Focus on the smaller cycles, Luke said to Anna.
Break it down. Humans solve big problems by solving small ones first.
Anna nodded, her eyes following the tiniest shifts in the spheres. I see it, step by step. Yes, I can anticipate the next movement. Kyle and Lisa adjusted their positions to match the pattern. Slowly, the group began synchronizing perfectly with the spheres. The hum around them reached a high pitch, and then, suddenly, the spheres merged into a single beam of light that shot upward, illuminating the entire clearing. Luke felt a rush of adrenaline.
We did it! That's the first big challenge. And we passed.
Anna smiled, breathing heavily. I can't believe we actually did it. Lisa adjusted her glasses.
It's remarkable. They designed this to test advanced reasoning, coordination, and adaptability. And humans, we just proved ourselves.
Kyle grinned.
I think the aliens watching us are realizing something. They didn't expect this.
Humans adapt. We don't just follow rules. We make them work for us. As they caught their breath, the air shimmered around them. Shapes began to form in the distance. Figures, humanoid but taller and thinner than humans. Their skin had a faint metallic sheen, and their eyes glowed softly. Luke stood tall.
Looks like we're about to meet the creators of this test. Be calm, be careful, but be confident. We've earned the right to be here.
One of the figures stepped forward.
Its voice was melodic but strange. Humans, it said. You have passed the first trials. You are clever, adaptable, and coordinated.
We have not seen such efficiency before.
Anna glanced at Luke.
They're impressed. That's not fear, just interest.
Luke nodded.
Interest can be dangerous too. Stay alert!
The figure continued, its voice echoing in the clearing.
We have watched many species.
Few survive our tests without error. Few adapt to unexpected challenges.
You are remarkable,
Lisa whispered to Kyle.
This is what we've been hoping for. They are acknowledging our intelligence. They are evaluating us.
Kyle smirked.
I knew humans were special. Now they know it too.
Luke stepped forward. We did what we could with what we knew.
That's what humans do. We adapt, we survive, and we keep moving forward.
The figure's glowing eyes seemed to study him carefully.
Yes, that is why humans are different. Why you are
unpredictable, Anna whispered.
Unpredictable. That word. It's exactly what humans are known for. We don't follow patterns others can expect.
The figure nodded slowly. You will face more trials. But you must know, other species fail because they cannot think beyond rules. Humans, you bend rules without breaking them. You are dangerous to underestimate. Luke smiled faintly. We're not here to be dangerous. We're here to explore, to learn, and maybe to show that humans can solve problems that others cannot. The figure raised a hand. Then proceed. The path ahead will be more difficult, but you are promising. Observe, adapt, and survive. That is what humans do best.
The group exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and tension running through them. This was only the beginning.
The planet had more tests, more challenges, and more lessons. But one thing was clear. Humans had proven themselves in ways the alien species did not expect. Luke turned to his team. We move forward, step by step. Think, adapt, and stay together. We've passed the first trial, but the real test is just beginning.
Anna nodded. I'm ready.
Let's see what comes next.
Kyle flexed his fingers, grinning.
We're humans. We adapt. That's what we do. Lisa adjusted her glasses. And this is only the start. The challenge is ahead. They will see exactly why humans are feared in ways no one else can imagine.
Luke looked up at the glowing path ahead.
Then let's continue, step by step. Always forward. That's the way humans survive. That's the way humans win!
The group moved toward the next series of platforms, ready for whatever the planet would throw at them. The hum followed, pulsing like a heartbeat, as if the planet itself was alive and aware. And in that awareness, the humans would find their next challenge, and continue to prove why they were unlike any other species in the galaxy.
The path ahead of the humans twisted through a narrow canyon, the walls glowing faintly with colors that shifted like liquid. Luke Hayes led the group cautiously, stepping lightly over uneven ground.
Anna Brooks walked beside him, scanning the canyon for anything unusual. Lisa Carter examined the walls, tracing patterns that pulsed with faint energy, while Kyle Bennett checked the readings on his portable scanner.
This place feels alive, Anna whispered. The walls, the ground, it's like they're watching us, learning from us.
Luke nodded. That's probably true. Stay alert. Every step here is part of their test. Watch for changes and trust your instincts.
As they moved deeper into the canyon, the ground suddenly trembled beneath their feet. Dust rose from cracks and the air grew warmer. A low rumble filled the canyon, vibrating through their chests.
Something's coming, Kyle muttered, his hand hovering over his scanner. And I don't think it's friendly.
Luke gestured for them to stop.
Wait! Observe! Don't react until we understand what's happening. From the shadows ahead, shapes began to emerge.
They were tall, sleek creatures, almost like the figures they had seen earlier, but these were faster, sharper, and more aggressive. Their eyes glowed red, and their movements were quick and precise.
Anna swallowed hard. They're attacking? Luke shook his head. Not exactly. They're testing us. Watch how they move, predict their actions, and adapt. That's what humans do best. The creatures advanced, but instead of attacking directly, they set traps in their path.
Stones shifted underfoot, walls narrowed unexpectedly, and energy pulses created barriers that seemed impossible to cross. Lisa Carter studied the patterns.
These aren't random attacks. They're simulations. They're designed to test our reactions, our teamwork, and our problem-solving. They want to see if we can adapt under pressure.
Kyle grinned, gripping his tools.
Well, humans excel under pressure. Let's show them what we can do.
Luke nodded.
Exactly. Observe first, act second. Anna, watch the barriers. Lisa, monitor energy patterns. Kyle, be ready to manipulate the environment if we need to create openings. I'll coordinate our moves.
The first trap came quickly. A section of the canyon floor split open, revealing a deep pit.
The glowing walls pulsed, and energy lines stretched across the gap. Anna stepped forward, studying the pit. The energy lines form a pattern. If we move in rhythm with them, we can cross safely. Step wrong and it could be fatal. Luke motioned for the team to follow. Step by step, they matched the rhythm, timing their jumps and movements perfectly. When they reached the other side, the floor sealed itself behind them and the hum in the canyon shifted, almost like a sigh. Lisa smiled. They're impressed. This was a test of timing and observation. We passed. Kyle adjusted his scanner. And humans never panic under pressure. That's why we're dangerous to species that rely on predictability. The canyon narrowed further, twisting into a series of sharp turns. Energy pulses created shifting walls, forcing the humans to constantly adapt their path. At one point, a wall moved just as Luke was about to step forward, blocking the passage.
Hold! He shouted. Wait for the pattern.
Watch it, learn it, then move. Anna counted the pulses silently, then stepped forward. Now! The team followed in perfect sequence, matching the rhythm, and the walls slid aside just as they reached it. Lisa pointed ahead. There! A series of energy orbs. They're floating, but they're connected. If we touch the wrong one, it could trigger the canyon to collapse. But if we touch them in the right order? Kyle grinned. Then we pass another test. Sounds like humans are built for this. Luke studied the orbs. We need to observe the order carefully. They're moving in a sequence. Watch closely. The team paused, counting the pulses of the orbs. Slowly, they began moving, stepping from orb to orb, activating them in sequence. The orbs glowed brighter with each correct touch, until finally a beam of light shot upward, creating a bridge to the next section of the canyon. Anna exhaled, relief in her voice. We did it! Step by step, Luke smiled. Humans solve problems. That's what makes us different. Not brute force, not speed, but brains, teamwork, and adaptability. The next section of the canyon was wider, with floating platforms that shifted in all directions. This was the most complex challenge yet. The platforms moved unpredictably, and energy lines pulsed across gaps. Every test, every challenge, we solved it all. I never imagined we could. Luke turned to her, eyes steady.
We did it because we think differently. Humans adapt.
Humans improvise. We don't just follow rules, we make them work for us. That's why we survive where others fail. Lisa Carter joined them, adjusting her glasses. The planet, the tests, they weren't just measuring strength or speed, they were measuring intelligence, teamwork, courage, and creativity. And humans passed all of them, often in ways the designers didn't expect. Kyle Bennett smiled, leaning casually against the console. Basically, we outsmarted the planet itself. That's humans! Unpredictable, clever, and hard to contain! Luke nodded. Exactly. And that's why intelligent species never challenge humans directly. Not because we're the strongest physically, but because we think in ways no one can anticipate. The planet faded into the distance, its glowing energy slowly disappearing from the sensors. But the crew could still feel the hum, the memory of the planet's awareness. It had been observing them, testing them, and learning from them. Anna glanced at the readings. Do you think they're afraid of us? Luke shook his head slightly. Not afraid in the usual sense. Respect, maybe. Caution. They understand that humans are unpredictable, and unpredictability is dangerous to species that rely on patterns and rules. That's why no one challenges us openly. That's why we survive where others fail. Lisa studied the holographic map of the galaxy. Think about it! We've seen it before. Other species might have numbers, technology, or strength, but they often fail against humans because they can't predict what we'll do next. We adapt, we innovate, and sometimes we create solutions no one expects. Kyle leaned back, grinning. So humans are basically the galaxy's wild card. That's why the aliens watched us, tested us, and, well, learned from us.